William K. Murtaugh, Merc Witness 1, and I have a couple subjects I'd like to talk to you about today, this first day of March 2021. And the first subject is the E-Clause murder case. Now, there was some discovery that came out last month, and I should say a whole hell of a lot of discovery, and all of it is sealed. So all this discovery that's been released is going to have to wait until the court decides to make it public. Now, one of the more interesting entries in the discovery request and other requests is for the state to conduct a DNA test. Now, I presume the DNA test would be a comparison between Neely Blanchard and the firearm that was used in the murder. But that remains to be seen. So at a minimum, this case is moving forward. And I may get into a little more discussion on this particular case on my murder-thon on Tuesday, March 2nd. So stay tuned for that. And now we move on to the main subject today, and what I'm going to discuss at length, and that is the Queen of Crazy. I suppose you could call her the Queen of the Qcrazies, because this woman is definitely crazy. Now, this piece of work posted this on her Facebook page. And she makes sure that I get it. She's got a couple operatives that make sure I get copies of this. For some strange reason, she has me blocked on her Facebook page, but she still wants me to see what she writes about me, so she sends these things off. That's one of the least crazy things she does. Well, let's take a look at this post. Now, she seems to be really interested in my lifestyle. The fact that I live in a mobile home and I live in Florida. She doesn't think much of the state of Florida. She calls it a swampland. Now, this is crazy in itself because this woman claims to be a licensed real estate broker in the state of Florida. Now, imagine, if you will, you come across this post somewhere and you're in the market to buy a house in Florida. And you see these remarks about the state of Florida. Well, you would think, why the hell buy a house in the state of Florida? You know, this woman who's a real estate broker licensed in Florida certainly doesn't think much of it. She calls it a swampland. You know, and not worth living in, so the hell with it. I just won't live in Florida. And if you're a person trying to sell your house in Florida, you certainly wouldn't use this real estate broker because you wouldn't get, number one, people to come and look at your house. Number two, they probably would try to get a much lower price for it than what you're asking because this woman doesn't think much of the state of Florida and thinks that you're living in a swamp. And God forbid if you live in a mobile home or manufactured home, be it in a park or on private land. You know, this woman probably doesn't sell or deal with mobile homes at all. She doesn't seem to think a whole hell of a lot about them. So this looks to me like one real estate broker you may not want to do business with. And in fact, I don't think she does much business at all because if you look through the state Florida records, you're not going to find much of anything in the way of real estate sales that this woman has been involved in. So I don't know why she even bothered to get a real estate license since she doesn't even deal in real estate. But, like I said, that's one of the crazy things about her. And then she gets into this thing in here about her boyfriend. And she claims that I have pictures of her boyfriend all over my house, my mobile home, my 30-year-old mobile home. And she insists on wanting to see the inside of my mobile home to see if I have pictures of her boyfriend all over my mobile home. Seems awful intent with seeing the interior of my mobile home. And you look at the intensity. I mean, this final entry in this little message of hers, the shrill message, if you will, where she's literally screaming, "Do it, Mert, do it." Multiple exclamation points. We want to see the inside of your 30-year-old mobile home with its crappy furniture. You know, what is this woman's problem? I mean, what is there about a 30-year-old mobile home with crappy furniture in it that has this woman's panties in a wad? Does she get sexually excited seeing the inside of old mobile homes? Does she get all hot and bothered and worked up? You know, there's an old saying that came from a movie. The vet makes them wet. Well, apparently, 30-year-old mobile homes with crappy furniture and pictures of her boyfriend all over the inside of it makes her wet. You know, you don't know what turns on most women, and this seems to turn her on. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. I would think she would want to see more of her boyfriend than she would the inside of my mobile home, but there's no accounting for taste. And it would help if her boyfriend was alive to begin with, which there is ever-increasing doubts to his mortality. You know, she may have made use of that wood chipper she's got in her backyard, and her boyfriend may be fertilizer for all that corn in her backyard. Who knows? Or her boyfriend could be a fish food at the bottom of one of the 1,000 lakes in Minnesota. You don't know. Judging by some of the posts she makes on Facebook and what she does over on BitChute, she's crazy enough to do anything. Now, speaking of Qcrazies, I'm going to be doing a segment on my Murdathon tomorrow evening at roughly 9 p.m. Schedule permitting, because tomorrow's something of a busy day. But I'm doing something a little different tomorrow. And so I'd like you to tune in. And you trolls out there that love to come in and disrupt my channel, you're welcome to watch, because this is going to be of particular interest to you trolls. But you're not going to be able to comment, because I've turned off the chat. And if you try and leave comments that I don't approve of, they ain't going to get posted. Because there's no freedom of speech on my YouTube channel. It's regulated. You got your cubby hole over there in the Twilight Zone. You can go over there. And on another note, I may be in a position now to join Gab TV. This is a kind of a upgrade for those that post over on Gab. I'm weighing the options, talking to a few people, seeing if this is the right way to go. And it just might be. Because talking about the Qcrazies on YouTube is getting to be something of a bore. And while I'm getting decent viewerships and such, I might be better off putting the bulk of the stuff over on Gab, because I can be more open about who I'm talking about. Gab doesn't believe in privacy restrictions. It doesn't believe in censorship of any kind. So that just may be a more ideal place, along with BitChute, to discuss in detail my adversaries. I mean, they're discussing me in great detail over there. Lying about me, as a matter of fact. And so I think it's about time they have their turn. And we can have ourselves a video debate on BitChute and Gab. So it ought to be interesting. So stay tuned. And just a side note on my M4K. Today is the official opening of the M4K, but due to scheduling constraints, I'm not going to be able to do much with it, but it's going to be there. So go over there and like and subscribe and be notified, for that's going to start up here pretty quick. And it's going to be entirely different. I'm probably going to put a lot of NASA stuff on there initially about the Mars Perseverance and maybe some of the other space-related events that are going on currently. So stay tuned for all of that. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, and have a nice weekend. This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Yeah, I know I said have a nice weekend, but, you know, when the weekend comes, have a nice weekend. Have a good one. Bye-bye.